Hi, I'm Chris.
Hey, my name is Mo.
This is KCMO Sports. Um, we're going to be talking about the Black Monday firings
In the NFL.
in the NFL. Andy Reid, as you all know, he was the Eagles head coach for 17 years. He got
I thought it was 14. I think it was 14 years.
14 or whatever.
Yeah,
I know he's in the league for 17 years, but
something like that.
he got fired. And Lovie Smith, which surprisingly, I don't know why they would fire Lovie Smith with the 10-6 record. I know the Bears didn't make the playoffs, but why would you fire a coach that has a winning season?
True. Yeah, I got something to add to that. Yeah, because he 10-6 record, which is not a bad record at all. Because the worst team that made it to the playoffs, well, there's four of them with the same record, all 10-6.
Yeah.
So he tied up some of the guys who made the playoff. Now I understand that he missed the playoff, but he was getting the job done. He was getting them a winning record, and he was getting them almost to the playoff. The only reason why what messed him up was injuries and Jay Cutler just not performing well. To me, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, North Turner, Chargers head coach North Turner got fired. We all understand why, because the owner is kind of getting tired of make the playoffs but don't make the Super Bowl type of deal.
but
The same thing with AJ Smith, their general manager. He gets fired too. They're kind of tired of the whole make the playoffs but don't make the Super Bowl kind of deal.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the weird thing. They fired the GM and they fired the head coach. Now,
Yeah.
personally, I thought North Turner, yeah, he was getting old, and he's been with the Chargers for a very, very long time. But I personally thought that, well, he didn't get the job done. He didn't even get him a winning record. I think they were 7-9. But I don't think he's a bad coach. I just think that his team is just not good. Too many injuries, especially to Ryan Matthews, who's probably one of the biggest playmakers on that team. No wide receivers too. You can't forget they got rid of Vincent Jackson, and so they didn't have any wide receivers. So that's not his Philip Rivers' fault. He North Turner was the one who made Philip Rivers
Yeah.
pretty good.
It comes to no surprise that the 2-14 the 2-14 Kansas City Chiefs have fired Romeo Crennel. That comes to no surprise. Now they should have fired Scott Pioli.
Yeah, I'm surprised he still has his job. Now the rumors has it that he's gonna eventually get fired, but I don't. I hope it happens soon, but he might have one more year, and I really hope that he doesn't have one more year because he's not doing a good job in Kansas
No,
City.
he's not. And as we all know, it wasn't coming to any surprise at all. The Bills fired their head coach Chan Gailey.
Yeah. Then Pat Shermer, Browns head coach, got fired. So did the GM Tom Heckert. He got fired by the Browns also. Ken Whisenhunt, Cardinals head coach, got fired. And Rod Graves, the Cardinals GM, got fired. Um, then Mike Tannenbaum, the Jets GM, got fired. Now, surprisingly, Rex Ryan still has his job. I guess they just love that guy. Now, I know he's a funny guy, but he's not a good coach, I can tell you that. Um, then Gene Smith, the Jaguars GM, got fired. Now, I'm surprised they didn't fire the head coach. He got him a 2-14 record. But then again, their quarterback, what's his name? Uh,
Blaine Gabbert?
Blaine Gabbert. Yeah, he kept getting injured. I mean, I know he had a few good games this season, like he much more improvement than his rookie year, but he kept getting injured and ended up losing his job to Chad Henne, which that's Maurice Jones-Drew, too many injuries to him too. So, team just needs to stay healthy and sign better players. I'm assuming they're going to go for another quarterback since they don't like Blaine Gabbert, but I personally like Blaine Gabbert just because he was from Mizzou.
Yeah.
So yeah, then this is the possible candidates that are going to be interviewing with the Chiefs, possibly. Um, I know that there's talks that Bill Polian, John Gruden, Bill Cowher could come out of retirement and coach.
Coach Andy Reid just got yesterday. He just came from Kansas City, being interviewed by the Chiefs, but there hasn't been any rumors or any sources out there saying yet if he's signed. He said he'd go home and talk to his wife about it. Now, we all know from 1991 to 1994, he was the offensive coordinator for the Missouri Tigers. Now, maybe he'll come back to Missouri and bring some Kansas City magic or something.
Yeah, and then Dirk Koetter, or how do you
Dirk Cutter.
Cutter. He was the defensive coordinator, I believe he was.
He was the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons.
And he was in the rumor talk to be interviewing with the Chiefs for the head coach job, but then he ended up re-signing a one-year contract with the Atlanta Falcons. So, and then there's Norv Turner, who could be. I think he'd be a pretty good fit. I mean, you did see some success from him in the past, and he probably could bring it to Kansas City. I mean, Chiefs have the players, if you actually think about it. All they need is better coaches. They need to get rid of the whole coaching staff and just sign some new guys. New GM and a quarterback. Now, I think our quarterback is going to be Geno Smith. Just from the... We got the first-round pick, so I think Geno Smith is our guy, personally. Then there's Kyle Shanahan. Lovie Smith. I hope Lovie Smith makes it. I mean, he got a winning record and got fired. So they're there. Opportunity right there to get a good coach.
Yes.
And last guy, Wade Phillips.
Ron Wolf just became the new GM for the Chargers.
Ryan Lilja retired after being the Chiefs' offensive lineman for the last 3 years or 4 years.
Now, after the playoffs, Ray Lewis and Tony Gonzalez are retiring.
Now, the Ray Lewis thing is 100% that he's retiring. Tony Gonzalez, there's been a lot of talks that he's going to retire, and he's even announced that he was going to retire. But they haven't made it viral yet, so he could possibly come back for another year. Who knows? Adrian Peterson broke the 2,000-yard mark this season with 2,097 yards. Yeah.
Calvin Johnson sets the single-season receiving record with 1,964 yards, passing Jerry Rice's record by 116 yards.
Oh, that's good. Congrats, Megatron. He did a good job there. Now for the NFL playoff predictions. For the wild card, well, surprisingly, every pick that I had, he had the same pick. It's kind of weird. Anyways,
it's just, it's just how I roll, I guess.
Well, for the wild card this week, it's going to be, for the AFC, it's going to be Cincinnati versus Houston. We both think that Houston's going to be Cincinnati on that one. There's also Indianapolis versus Baltimore.
Now, the reason I chose Indianapolis is because Ray Lewis for Baltimore is going to be thinking too much about retirement. He'll probably be thinking too much about retirement, and the Colts have a great passing offense, and I think the Baltimore defense just plain out sucks this year.
I kind of disagree there. No, I think Ray Lewis is going to come with his A game. I mean, he's going to be focused. He's like,
I don't doubt that.
Because this could be his last game. If he loses, that could be his last. He's going to play like it's his last game. And actually, the Ravens' defense was not that bad this season. I think they had a better pass defense than they did rush defense. But I definitely think Andrew Luck is going to get them through there. Next is going to be, for the NFC, it's going to be Seattle versus Washington. Rookie versus...
Two rookie quarterbacks versus each other. I want to see RG3 go on to the next round just because he's RG3.
Yeah. And we both think that RG3 is going to beat Russell Wilson, but look out for Seattle's defense, though, this weekend. I know that's one of the toughest defenses in the NFL. And then the last team, Minnesota versus Green Bay.
We all know Adrian Peterson's going to run all over the Packers. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt about it. But don't forget, Aaron Rodgers does have he's been the number one quarterback this season, I believe he was. And I think he's going to bring the success into the playoffs. Now, for our picks in the Super Bowl, we both think it's going to be Houston versus Atlanta. And lastly, we want to cover the wide receiver situation in Kansas City. I know they're looking for wide receivers.
There's been reports that Mike Wallace, Wes Welker, or Greg Jennings may be on the Chiefs list to look out for.
Yes, definitely. And we're going to close out this show. My name is Mo.
My name's Chris.
Have a nice day.